What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Game 6 of the NBA Finals pre-game show. Very early pre-game show. Just under 3 hours until tip of the NBA Finals Game 6. Celtics, Warriors. I'm shaking in my boots. You guys know this, though. Warriors lead the series 3-2. Game 6 in Boston. Happy Hour Hoops, Dunny and Jake, as always, joined by some guy named Steve and Slick L, both recurring guests. Slick pulling for the Celtics. Steve in his Warriors jersey as he pops in here. The Steph jersey, no less, of course. Gotta respect it. Steph's been playing out of his mind. How we doing tonight, guys? I assume just as fearful as I am.
Everybody, it's just a tense room.
Tense room.
I'll be honest with you, Donnie. I am pulling for the Warriors. That much is true. I would love to see Steph get a well-deserved Finals MVP, but I'm okay if this series goes 7. I kind of want this series to go 7.
It is Maple Jordan's time. Wiggins, the only way it's okay if the Celtics lose tonight is if it's an Andrew Wiggins career night, 39, 15, and 8. That's the only way I can accept that. If you guys you couldn't take that.
If we lose, I hope he puts up 60 for fuck's sake.
Could you
Slick, I gotta ask Slick real quick. The Warriors are your second team, right?
Yes, this is true.
So after this is, if the Warriors win, I'm not saying they're going to, but if they do end up winning the series, is there any part of you that'll be happy that the Warriors won a 4th championship, kind of cemented their dynasty as one of the best in NBA history?
Yeah, for sure. It was pretty hard to watch the KD departure with that injury, and then Clay being out for 2 years, and that finals run where I was positive they were going to beat the Raptors with that full healthy squad. And then obviously things just went haywire. Kawhi had a career series/season. So I think solidifying again that the dynasty never fell apart, and it's still there, and with even better young guns this time around, it'd be awesome. And I do think Curry deserves a Finals MVP for sure. But that being said, the mentality I've had going into this was people know how good the Warriors are.
Right.
And just because they have a new set of bench players doesn't change any of that. And this is really the stage for Jalen and Jason to assert themselves as these next top-tier stars in the NBA. And I know finals are hard to come by, so that's why I'm taking it. Really want the Celtics to take advantage of this here. I know the Warriors can get back, and I'm confident the Celtics can. It's just, will the Celtics be able to anytime soon? Again, obviously the two Jays have a lot of career ahead of them.
Right.
And if you keep this team together, hopefully you see another finals appearance pretty soon out of the team. But I know the Warriors will probably be back there next year, win or loss. I'm confident in saying that. And hopefully we can see another finals between these two teams in the near future anyway. I think this is a great series. It's great for basketball.
I just want to put it out there that I will be happy for you guys if the Celtics pull it off tonight and pull it off on Sunday. But about 48 hours after that, I'm going to be really mad no matter who wins this finals. I've already I've gotten caught up. I've been very good. I've been very supportive for the last 2 months of the Boston Celtics.
You have.
But it's going to piss me off. I guarantee you that's the over-under I'm putting at 48 hours before the first time I'm mad about the Jason Tatum is the next whatever insert superstar here. So I'm just warning you guys. That's how I feel. But I'm going to be more angry if Stevie's wish comes true tonight and I have to watch Steph Curry celebrate another Game 6 on an opposing floor. It's going to make me so mad. I'm just picturing if I see him in those black and gold jerseys, I'm going to lose it. I already feel the anger that I'm have. So
that'll give flashbacks for you.
Oh, it's already happening. Yeah. It's already happening. The locker room still smells like champagne. That quote that lives I hear that in my nightmares all the time. No. So I just don't. I don't want that for you guys. But
all right.
I'm just letting you know that that's where I'm at. Where are we at?
So we have we have many what ifs on the table here, of course, but we do have this game 6 here tonight, and the what if is not, or there is no what if about them playing, because that is going to happen. It's in the Boston Garden. Celtics back against the wall. I mean, in theory, the Celtics before last game hadn't lost a game, back-to-back game since January. Then all of a sudden, here we are. They lose the 2 games. The Celtics in NBA history have never won or have never lost 3 NBA Finals games in a row. So, either the Warriors lose, or either the Warriors win tonight, or the Celtics break that historic NBA Finals streak. In theory, they should win, correct? I mean, I feel like on paper, it seems like Boston should take this home.
3.5-point favorites. So
3.5-point favorites if you're into that kind of stuff, like us degenerates. And the thing that keeps haunting me is we can't forget about Game 6 Clay. And Steph is coming off one of his worst playoff performances of all time. Didn't hit a 3. That's the first time he's done that since 2018. It's the first time he's done that ever in an NBA playoff game. I mean, everything points to Boston, but then when you start diving in and looking at this, it just gets that much more scary.
How about this though? Because hear me out. I made the joke about the Andrew Wiggins thing and everything, but Andrew Wiggins put 26 points up on 23 shots. That is not efficient at all.
Right.
It's not like the Warriors are like Clay only had 18 points. It really feels like a situation where you're looking at back to the Bucks
Boston
series.
just needs to stop beating themselves.
Well, that's all this. I mean, we could end this show right now and just say, hey, if Boston doesn't turn the ball over if they turn the ball over less than 16 times, they're going to win this basketball games. That's really all it comes down to. What do you got, Steve?
The only thing I want to say on that point of Boston beating themselves, I think at some point we have to credit the Warriors defense. They've been one of the best defenses in the NBA. And casual NBA fans, I'm just saying the ones that kind of pop in for the playoffs, don't really watch every game. Think about the Warriors. What do you think about? You think about a high explosive offensive team that just shoots you out of the gym night after night, and they really don't play great defense. But that's not what the Warriors' DNA has been this year. They are a tough physical defense. I really give a lot of credit to the guards improving on their defense. Obviously, Draymond's going to be a great defender. Clay, he's been hurt, but he's still a good defender. And Wiggins is probably one of the better defenders in this entire series. I have to give them credit there because they are forcing a lot of turnovers. But the big thing, too, for the Celtics, you got to make the freebies. You can't miss 10 free throws. Yep. And when you have a game where Curry, you don't have many games where Steph Curry doesn't make threes. You don't have many games where Steph Curry is cold shooting. You can't. Those are the games you got to capitalize. You can't be missing those free throws. And that's why, as a non-biased basketball fan, I'm going to give some non-biased analysis here. If I'm a Celtics fan, I feel good going into this game, but I'm also a little terrified because I don't think Curry can play any worse than he did last game. And that's concerning when you have a 10-point loss that was really kind of almost a 15-point game at some points there, where the Warriors, I'm not even going to call them role players anymore. Poole and Wiggins, they are technically role players, but they've kind of came into their own in these playoffs, and they're now playing with confidence. And the scariest thing to have is to have a team playing with confidence that's surrounded by a superstar in Steph Curry we saw him take over a couple games ago. He can take over really any game when he wants to. That's the big, I guess, concern I would have if I was a Celtics fan here. But I do agree the Celtics can't turn the ball over the way they have been, but I think we do have to credit the Warriors defense a little bit for putting them in those type of situations where it is forcing turnovers.
I will say what I was going to come around to eventually too is that Steph could go off in this game, but we've seen the Celtics do this in this exact scenario already in this playoffs where Giannis in Game 6 had 44 and 20. Like he balled out. It was a historic performance from Giannis, and the Celtics withstood that. This team can withstand any great performance from a star when they are clicking on all cylinders. The bench production has been. There's nothing. There's nothing to show for it. Like Grant Williams has been struggling with his shot. Derek White, I mean, that man is the most frustrating.
Outside of Game 1, yeah.
And Smart has been inconsistent offensively, and I think more his playmaking, like his inability to actually be a playmaker because this defense has been hounding him so much. It's hurting him offensively, but it's also forcing Tatum to have to do more playmaking than he probably should be having to do, more handling the ball, more initiating offense than it should be actually smart, because Tatum's shooting like 40-something% from 3 in this series, and it's mostly off catch and shoot action. This is what I read earlier today. Like, he's not getting, it's hard for him to get stuff off the dribble. So they need one of those guards, in my opinion, to really just do something, like to just be supportive pointings. But on the other hand, the Warriors role players play better at home usually. So I just feel like I can expect a little bit of a dip from them. Like, I still don't trust Jordan Poole. Fuck that guy.
Jake, I was gonna bring that up. You had one of the funniest and I think accurate tweets of all time, where I think you said Jordan Poole has the biggest 15-point games of all time, because it's true. He's not having a great finals. He's playing all right. It's not like he's taking over. It's not like he's this second splash brother that's going to join Steph when Clay's out of there. Jordan Poole's playing all right. He's playing like the sixth man should. But when he scores his baskets, they are big highlight reel type baskets, right? He hit that 3 at the end of the third quarter last game. When he scores his layups, it's after maybe he crosses someone over. He's got a lot of moves. He scores flashy baskets, but overall efficiency has not been to the level that he's hyped. And I will admit that. I love Jordan Poole. I think he's got a very bright future because of his ceiling plays. But he's a very, very raw talent. He has a lot to still work on. And there's a lot of times, I think we saw it even last game. There's a possession where as soon as Jordan Poole touches the ball, I'm like, oh boy, he's going to shoot this shot. No matter what it is, he's going to shoot it here. And it could be double coverage. He's falling over and he just chucks up an air ball. I think that was his first shot when he came into the game last game. And it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing?
I saw someone that. Oh, sorry.
I credit Jake for that. No, I got to give Jake credit for that, because that's the most accurate tweet I've ever seen. Jordan Poole scores they has the biggest 15-point games of all time, because it's true.
I saw someone say that Jordan Poole plays like a freshman on varsity whose senior crush is sitting courtside at every game. And it's so accurate.
Crazy.
I think he made such a ridiculous 3 last game, and I literally turned to my mom and I said, watch, he's gonna shoot. He's going to come dribble the ball up the court on the next possession and immediately fire a deep 3. Does it? Air balls. Missed everything. And I was like, dude, you go from that to that? God damn. That must be so frustrating as a Warriors fan. I like him too. I think he's a good player, but man, he pisses me off when I'm playing against him.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I think Poole to me has just already taken so much of the Curry confidence and just bottled it up.
Yes.
And I'm sure this is, I'm sure that was almost a transactional thing. I'm sure if Steph's been in his ear all season, is yo, man, you're like that. Play with confidence. Whether Steve Kerr agrees with this or is in on these conversations between Steph and Poole, I don't know, because they pan to Steve Kerr and he has kind of this disgusted look sometimes after Jordan Poole's shots. But I think, you can already tell, the first and the second best free throw shooters in the league, one's Jordan Poole, 2 is Steph Curry this year. And, you hear the broadcasters talk about all the time about how Jordan Poole's giving Steph shit about that. And, you can just tell, he is kind of like the freshman on varsity, but he's the freshman who averages 18 a game and is nasty and he's next up. That's clear. And, as much as I hate to say it, congrats for doing your thing on the biggest stage. And I think that also can be said for Wiggins too. Stevie, I'm glad you singled him out on the part where you were talking about defense earlier, because I feel like everything I'm seeing about Wiggins on Twitter is his scoring nights, and granted his mid-range jump shot has been almost automatic this series. That's one thing I'll say about his offense. But I think the most impressive thing that nobody's talking about, we talk about the double-digit rebounds, the scoring. He's slowing down the Jays all game long.
Yes.
When it's just one of the Jays on the court and he has that assignment, he's the one rattling them. He's the one causing these turnovers. His length, his speed, his ability to jump and contest those Tatum fallaways, that is going so under the radar. And I'll tip my hat to Wiggins on that too, as frustrating as it is to watch.
His lateral movement is so good for that size that he has.
He's so fast.
Yeah. And another thing too, Dunny. Oh, sorry, Dick. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say another thing Dunny touched on. I think like that's a big key into how the Warriors are playing so well with all these guys that have never been in the finals, is they're all bottling up that confidence from the guys that have. Like any other team in this situation, you know, the moment might get to them, being down 2-1, going into Boston to play in the NBA finals. And no, like they're still shooting shots that they want to take. And it all comes from the core three that have been there before and know not to get down when they're in the dumps, and that they got to stay confident and come back, and they can win the series.
And I think we have to credit Steve Kerr. I know everyone's like, well, have all this talent.
No,
they got KD. You
awesome.
Can't discredit Steve Kerr. First off, third quarter Warriors is because of Steve Kerr. And another thing I like about Steve Kerr is he encourages his players to play with this type of confidence. He encourages them to take these type of shots. He wants his players playing like they think they're the best guy in the gym. And I'll tell you what, on some possessions, you will see Poole go down there. He thinks he's the best player on the court. Wiggins will act like that. And that is a credit to Steve Kerr, who I think is a phenomenal basketball coach that people really don't give enough credit to, because, you know, he was gifted Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. They got Kevin Durant. Like, they've had some of the best shooters in the world at all times when he's been the coach there. But I think part of the reason that he gets the best out of his role players or his bench guys, I mean, you see with the Warriors, it's much star power as they've had. It's a next man up mentality, where guys will come off the bench and just play
Bielitsa.
What the hell? Junior, like, these guys are playing well because they have that confidence, and I think it's kind of installed in their brains because of Steve Kerr, and I have to give him a ton of credit. And I'm not discrediting the Celtics at all and what they've done with a first-year head coach. I think the Celtics have overachieved beyond belief of what the expectations were at the start of the season. Once we got about halfway through the season, we're like, oh, this is a team that can make a run to the finals and win it. And that's all credit to the Celtics and their first-year head coach. But I think you got to give Steve Kerr some credit, too, because he is kind of the reason a lot of these Warriors players are playing with so much confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Steve Kerr's incredible. He is incredible.
So we've kind of broken down both teams a little bit here. I think I know who most people are on tonight, but I want to get your guys' opinion here. Let's go around, say who wins tonight and why. Give it just like a couple quick synopsis, a couple bullet points of why.
Tomorrow's headlines right now. I love that. I don't know who used to do that. I think Cowherd does that. So next week's headline today or something, some stupid shit. I said no matter who was winning Game 5 that the other team was going to win Game 6, like the before Sunday or whatever, or Monday, whenever the game was. Yeah. And so I still truly believe that. I think it would have, and it's not a referee thing. Zach Zarba it's Foster Jr. It is going to be terrible, but I think that means, you want to know what I think happens tonight? I think Draymond Green gets kicked out of this game. It's been brewing for 5 games. They're going to be on his ass. The fact they didn't kick him out, like, it would have been it's technically, like, I don't like it, even if they did call a technical and kick him out for when he was chasing Tatum around the court or whatever. But in today's NBA, that's a technical foul like any other game and for any other player. So
also, why was he doing that?
He's annoying as hell.
That he was taking the ball back to the back. He didn't want him to take the ball back. And I mean, I'm not going to say Tatum was completely in the right. Like, you're not.
No, he wasn't. Tatum was being petty.
It was petty.
But Draymond's doing it. It's like, all right, man. Like, enough's enough there. But I think both sides, both the Celtics and the Warriors, they are playing petty and they're not playing physical, and it makes it tough on the refs to call stuff.
That's another part of my storyline.
What are you going to do?
I think that the fans and the crowd is going to be a special atmosphere tonight, and that's going to cause issues for the Warriors at some point, whether it's a couple turnovers. Like, because if you talk about we talked about the Celtics turnovers earlier too, for the last 7 years, that is the Achilles heel of the Warriors, is their turnovers. And I think this Boston defense can really turn it up tonight at home with that crowd behind them. I'm expecting Robert Williams to look pretty damn good again tonight and try to be able to gut it through for all the biggest games of their lives. And then the big headline is, I think it's going to be Jason Tatum. It goes with him. So he's going to have the game like he had in games. I go back to that Milwaukee Game 6. It really reminds me of that Milwaukee Game 6, even though this is at home and that was on the road. And he had obviously one of the best games of his young career in that game. So that's what it's got to come down to. I think it'll be close. I said 101-96 earlier, so I'm going to stick with that.
Ooh, I like that. Slick, what you got?
I also agree, Jake. I think Jason Tatum's going to be the leading scorer. I think he shuts a lot of people up tonight, but I think the headline for me is the last time the Celtics won in this series, your whole starting five played great games. I think you get at least 15, at least 10 or more out of the whole starting five tonight. So I think the real key there is we know Jason and Jalen are going to step up. Rob's been playing well all series. I think you also get that same kind of energy from Smart and Horford. They both have big games to contribute. Sure. And the whole starting five puts in a great effort. They all score some points, put up some statistics, and they come away with this win. And I think one other key is transition buckets. But ultimately, it comes down to the whole starting five playing their best games of their lives.
Yeah, I think I have a couple keys. The first is the Celtics crowd. You saw the first couple games in Boston. Draymond Green.
Does this mean you're taking the Celtics, Stevie?
It was a shell of himself. We'll get there, Dunny. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
He's on the way.
Draymond Green was a shell of himself. The Celtics crowd got him rattled. And I think the biggest thing is it's going to come down to the first quarter here because Steph Curry went 0-9 from 3. And as good as Wiggins played, he was 0-6 from 3. That's 0-15 from 3 from two pretty reliable three-point shooters. It's probably not going to happen again. I think this game will be decided in the first quarter, but it could be decided because if Steph hits a couple threes and takes the air out of the building, I think it changes the complete change of this game. But if Steph starts off with a couple misses here and there, and the Celtics crowd can really get into it, I think the Celtics can not run away with this game, but win comfortably. And you brought him up with Robert Williams. I know he's been playing big up this whole series. I understand that, but he has been the most impactful defender by the Celtics. It hasn't been close. He was a plus 11 last game. Every other starter was in the negatives. It was crazy. And it wasn't like he played 5 minutes. He played 30 minutes. He was plus 11. Robert Williams is a monster. I think he's the X factor in this game. If he can get a couple blocks, if he can force the Warriors to take outside shots and not really drive in the paint, it can make the difference here. If I'm going to go with prediction, I think this series goes 7, so I'm going to give the Celtics the win here, but I think it's going to be maybe a 1-2 possession game. But that is with a little asterisk right there. If Curry hits 3 or 4 threes in the first quarter, I think it's going to be Jake's nightmare where the Warriors kind of win on the opponent's court. Just take the life out of the building.
I'm going to lose my mind.
I know, and that's the only thing where I would be worried as a non-biased basketball fan. And I would be worried if I was pulling for the Celtics because Curry going 0 for 9 is terrifying because crowds don't get to Curry. You don't get under Curry's skin. No. He thrives in that environment. He actually plays better, I think, when people are like jumping on him. And I think Celtics fans will jump on him.
Tweets at halftime.
Exactly. After the game he played, they're going to get under Draymond's skin. I get that. They'll probably get under Clay's skin. They'll probably get under Poole's skin. But Curry is the big one here. If he makes a couple shots, then I'm turning off our group chat text messages. I'm turning that off on Do Not Disturb. I'm not saying anything to you guys. I'm just going to let you watch. But I do think the Celtics pull this one out. I want this series to go 7. I really do.
All right, here it is from me, boys. Here's the headline. Jason Tatum gets to the free throw line, or Jason Tatum shoots 18 free throws, forces the issue, turns it around, 30-plus points. Celtics win at home. Not big. It's probably going to be like, the last couple we've seen, dramatic at some points, close at some points. I'm sure we're going to see the runs like we've seen. This everyone says basketball is a game of runs. Yeah, this series has literally been the definition of that.
Yeah.
And I think we see more of it tonight. But I don't know. Game 6, Jason Tatum. Everyone talks about Game 6, Clay. I think Jason Tatum is starting that trend for himself. He had a 40-burger against Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. As much as he's probably on paper been the Celtics' best player this series, I don't think he's even looked like himself at all, if I'm being completely honest. He's had flashes, like the third quarter of last game. I think Tatum had a big game. Yep. But, I think it's crazy that people are trying to take away the superstar label of Tatum during this series but I don't think he cares because tonight he's going to show it. I also think that's the key. You know what I started with, the free throws. I think Tatum needs to force the ref's hands. He really does. He did it once, I believe, in the Miami series, where he just right from the jump. I mean, he was still taking his outside shots and hitting them. But what better way to get good looks is the freebies, like Stevie said. We need to hit him this time.
Yeah.
But I think he forces the issue, and I like 20-plus bench points from the Celtics tonight. I think Pritchard knows that he hasn't been playing well. He had 3 wide-open looks in the first quarter last game, bricked all of them. Grant Williams has been in his own head, hasn't been hitting his shots. Derek White hasn't showed up since game 1. Bench points and getting to the free throw line and actually making them is my key for the C's tonight. Also, Kevin Garnett's in the building, so do it for KG.
Like I said before. Like I said before, it's the key. Oh, you weren't here for this, Stevie. It's the Key and Peele sketch with Ime as Barack Obama and Kevin Garnett as Key in that part. That's what we need tonight.
The anger translator.
That's right. That's
what it is.
The anger translator. Yep. KG just freaking out on him. I can't wait. It didn't even matter if I had any stakes in this game. A game 6 of the NBA Finals is one of my favorite things on the earth. The only thing better is a game 7, though. So that's what I would be hoping for, probably no matter what.
And what a Father's Day present that would be, right?
Dude, the ratings on a game 7 on Father's Day is going to be insane.
Bonkers.
Like 50 million people are going to watch that shit on ABC. It's going to be nuts.
It's disgusting.
That would be a legendary Father's Day. Sunday U.S. Open into the NBA Finals. Game 7. Come on. We need that.
I think we're getting it. I hope so.
Do your thing,
Zach Starbuck, if you hear this right now, he knows what to do. Adam Silver not in the building tonight also. Out with health and safety protocols. So if the Warriors do win the title tonight, it will be Mark Tatum handing over the thing. Which
Mark,
I feel like that's why I feel like it's a good sign. There's no way.
See, that just can't happen.
There's no way.
Mark, what?
All right.
Tatum, baby. Let's go, Celtics. Come on.
That's all we need to say. Enjoy the game tonight, folks. Have a good one. We'll see how this group feels in about. We got 6 hours, 5 hours. It'll be until the end
passing
of the game.
out regardless. So
I've been on good behavior.
I'm gonna start. I'm already been
you have been. Hey, this whole group, Jake, obviously Slick's been with me, the Celtics fan that joins me here. Jake has been the best sport. He's literally been backing the Celtics since the Cavs.
You know what inspired me?
Actually, since we beat Brooklyn, you've been backing the Celtics fully.
Yes, that's true.
And then Stevie, I mean, I can't hate the Warriors. I know you're a Steph Curry guy. I don't hate Steph. I've started to grow to hate Clay just because of this series, but that'll be over because I pretty much love everyone on the Warriors except for Draymond
at their home court. Oh no,
that pissed me off. That pissed me off. I actually got very upset.
Stevie, you've been great though. Jake, love the support. Let's go do this.
I haven't.
Let's force a game 7 for the good of happy hour.
I'm not Slick, because you're a real one, Slick. That's why.
Love you, buddy.
This is what you live for.
Go
to watch for basketball.
Later, guys.
Sport.